800-631...
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're situated on this great, big, beautiful blue globe floating through the void of Yah's creation. It's the 28th of July, 2026, and as always, the media is just spinning and just propagandizing and gaslighting and lying over and over and over again. I guess they have to do it. They're so good at it. All right, welcome to the Taco Tuesday version of the WTF Reports. I'm your host, Dave vonKleist. And, WTF. I mean, what the, oh my gosh. Anyway, where do I start today? I'm going to get right into it. Stu Peters put out an alert last night, and he asked several times, everybody needs to pray for Candace Owens. Now, why would he do that? Why would he do that? Why would he say numerous times, and he also was drawing attention to a live podcast that he was going to do. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch it, but I do want to go back and check into it. And I understand why he's doing that, because Candace Owens is the one person who has been digging into the assassination of Charlie Kirk with integrity. Now, you know, we're watching we saw the preliminary hearings, and it's not going good for the prosecution, and for good reason, because none of the official narrative makes any sense whatsoever. And they are desperate to keep people focused in on the 30-06, and Tyler Robinson was the assassin, and that whole story doesn't make any sense at all. And I'm not the only one saying that. This is across the board. Anybody with functioning gray matter, with more than a couple dozen brain cells, can look at what happened and know, just instinctivly know, that the official narrative is horse hockey, it's snake snot, it's bullcrap. Anyway, and all you have to do, and I know it's grisly, I know a lot of you have seen the actual footage of when Charlie was assassinated, and the blatant, obvious, the video. What I'm trying to get at is that you saw his shirt jump, all right? If they run it in slow motion, you see the shirt jumps up, and then you see the wound on his neck. Let that settle in. This is not hard, folks. The shirt jumped up first, and then we saw the wound on the neck. That totally blows the whole thing about a sniper right out of the water. It doesn't make any sense. And then there's all the other stuff that's been going on. But anyway, follow Candace Owens, because we all know that this was a whole lot different what the official narrative is. Who's behind the narrative? Well, we all know who's behind the media, and it all is pointing back to one particular entity. And I think we all know where we're going. So, and we all know that there was motive, means, and opportunity here. So I wanted to throw that out there because this is really important, because America is waking up to the fact that maybe our greatest ally is our greatest adversary. Now, a lot of you folks out there are going to start going off and saying, oh, you're going to be antiseptic now. No, it's got nothing to do with that. It's got nothing to do with being antiseptic. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I wanted to touch on that. I got a bunch of different things I wanted to get to, and I just don't know where to start. But I'm going to draw attention right off the bat to Harrison Smith's documentary film. It's only about 15 minutes long. I encourage people to watch this and listen carefully. I'm going to play just a minute or two from the very beginning. Now, you connect the dots, folks. You connect the dots. I'm going to start this. Just listen to it. And I encourage you, I implore you to go to whatever platform you want. Go to Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, I don't care. Look for The Eighth Front. The Eighth Front by Harrison Smith. Now listen carefully. I'm going to pause it so you have time to absorb this and start putting the puzzle pieces together. And this is especially for all you Christian Zionists who are out there, for all you folks who have been supporting Israel through this whole time. You got to understand that this is not about attacking the particular ethnic group that these monsters claim to be a part of, because they are not. They could not. It's impossible to be. But anyway, okay, I'm a bit rattled today. I've been having issues with computers. I tell you, I've got a curse or something. I have gremlins. I got cooties. I got something going on with my computers. But so bear with me if I go through some miscuing here. I don't have a team of techies and producers that are helping me out with this. I'm flying solo with this stuff. But anyway, I'm going to play a minute or so of the beginning, just the beginning of this documentary, The Eighth Front, and listen carefully to what's being said. And I want to remind you that there are people of that particular ethnic persuasion who believe that they must destroy Edom before their Messiah can come. Keep that in mind. That is their belief. Now, it doesn't make any difference what you believe. It doesn't make any difference what I believe. It's what they believe. Now, listen carefully. I'm just going to play the beginning part of this. I'm going to pause it occasionally so that you can let it sink in.
I tend to steer it along with the achievement of a broader peace. When history is within reach.
So what Israel is fighting here is not merely a seven-front war, but an eighth-front war.
Okay, I'm pausing it. He's referring, of course, to the internet, to the social media platforms. Now, listen carefully to what Bibi Netanyahu says right now. He was asked the question, what are you reading right now? Listen to his answer.
For the Jews against Rome.
The Jews against Rome. That's what he just said. All right, the Jews against Rome. Okay, now we could be historical and biblical about that, and we know that the Jews were fighting against the Romans, etc., back in the biblical days. Now, but what is Rome? What is Rome? Is it possibly Edom? Listen carefully.
Rome and Jerusalem clashed over values with a great tragedy for the Jewish people.
Okay, he said there was a great tragedy for the Jewish people because they, because of the fact that Rome banished and killed the Jews, etc. Now, Rome and Jerusalem clashed over values. All right? And then listen.
The great tragedy for the Jewish people.
Yeah, a great tragedy for the Jewish people. Okay? And now he says,
well, we lost that one. We have to win the next one.
Okay, we lost that one. We have to win the next one.
The new Rome, the United States.
The new Rome, the United States. Do you understand what he's saying? They have to defeat the United States. The United States is Rome in their eyes, along with Western Europe. Western Europe and North America, the United States, are the enemy according to Bibi Netanyahu. Let that settle in. This is not our greatest ally. I'll let this continue.
Jews against Rome.
The Jews against Rome. Okay?
We stopped playing defense and have moved to offense.
The weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well.
But we need the kind of genius that manufactured Apollo gold pagers and infiltrated Hezbollah for over a decade.
Okay, that's Jonathan Greenblatt from the ADL, the Anti-Defecation League, because they're full of crap as far as I'm concerned. And he just referred to the exploding pagers. And I wanted to play that clip because if they can make little pagers explode, they sure as heck can make a microphone explode. And this is why I was referring in the beginning about Charlie Kirk's shirt jumping up before the wound on his neck.
To prepare for this battle.
But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are on social media.
Because the next war will be decided based on how Israel and its allies perform online as much as offline.
Okay, I'm going to stop it again. Because this is why, we're all screaming about the NDAA, formerly Section 224, which became Section 219, which was passed by Congress. And I don't understand why. Well, yeah, I do. The Congress has been, unfortunately, subjected to those three magic words:
bribery, coercion, blackmail.
Okay, the bottom line here is that almost, I would say 99% of Congress has been blackmailed or being subject to coercion, or they have been bribed or lobbied. Folks, this is not a game here. We are at war. And I'm not talking about the Iran war, although we can get to that. There's a bunch of stuff that's come in about that. We're in deep doo-doo in that particular situation. Anyway, the point is we have to understand that we have been propagandized, we have been gaslit, and for as far as the Christian Zionists are concerned out there, you guys have got to understand what Stockholm Syndrome is. When you're presented with irrefutable, undeniable documentation and evidence that proves a certain point that is contrary to what your beliefs are, you've got to sit your ass down and listen and look and understand and think and put the puzzle pieces together and understand that you have been screwed over by these propagandists. We got to wake up. Well, you know what? America is waking up. As a matter of fact, I got a bunch of clips here, and you have to pardon me for having to stop and cue these clips. But CNN was reporting about how the support for Israel is collapsing. And I'm trying to cue this up, and now, okay, it won't let me cue this up. All right, I got to go through a different... I've got a couple backup systems here. Okay, let's see if I can do it this way. Where is it? I had it here a minute ago. Doggone it. See, that's what I'm saying. I got gremlins in the system here. Okay, where is it? It's, okay, here it is. This is CNN. Okay, here it is. Okay, and go.
Israel, how supportive Democratic candidates want to be of Israel and U.S. aid to Israel. Over the summer, it's been largely seen as a Democratic issue, but it might not just be a party thing. With us now, CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton. When we're talking about Israel's favorability in the United States, in general, there's some big changes.
There are some absolutely huge, mammoth changes, generational changes that we're talking about. I think there are a lot of Republicans, we'll be able to run against these anti-Israeli Democrats once we hit the general election because the general electorate feels very differently from the Democratic base. But the general electorate, look at these numbers on Israel, the net favorability. They're all negative. They're all negative. Ipsos, minus 10 points. Fox, minus 11 points. Marquette University Law School Law poll. Look at that, minus 20 points. Pew Research Center, minus 23 points. Negative, 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 negative. And Gallup earlier this year was also negative. We're not just talking about the Democratic base anymore. We're talking about the general electorate as well. The general electorate has turned against Israel. This is not just...
I got to pause it for a second. Can you notice the panic in his voice? He's almost frantic about this. And I'm kind of glad about it.
It's a left issue. It is an American issue when it comes to opinions on Israel.
What's the trend line here?
What's the trend line here? The trend line is unbelievable. Look at the trend line here. Compare this to Donald Trump's first term. At this point in Donald Trump's first terms, Israel's average net favorability.
Wow.
You go back here. Look at this. It was plus 51 points. Wow, Johnny says. Wow, Johnny says, because this is wow. Plus 51. It's minus 16 points in the average poll now. That is what, a 67-point shift against Israel in just 8 years. Israel used to be a consensus issue in American politics, and that was a pro-Israeli position. Now the consensus has actually shifted, and now when it comes to general electorate, it is a minus. Israel is now seen negatively, and we're seeing it in poll after poll after poll.
You just had this vote in the House where 100 Democrats voted against military assistance to Israel. How is that specific issue seen right now?
Yeah, you said wow, right? How about wow again? Take a look here. I never thought I'd see the day military assistance to Israel say U.S. should reduce or end it. Overall, 55% say they should reduce or end it.
Yep.
And it is true across the educational spectrum. 51% of non-college graduates, 62% of college graduates. So this isn't just an issue right among white liberals in Democratic primaries. No. This is true across the educational divide. Even when we are looking towards a general electorate, the majority of Americans believe that military assistance to Israel should either be reduced or ended.
Okay. Wow, reduced or ended. Now, if the majority of Americans feel that way, then how does Congress justify voting for the NDAA and Section 219? The bottom line here is your congressmen don't care about you. They don't care about their constituency. They care about their pocketbooks. They've been paid off. They have committed treason. Now, there is no other word for it, folks. There is no other word. They are committing treason. Now, right now, as we speak, Anthony Fauci is being grilled in front of Congress. I wish I could sort of watch and get some clips, but I'll have to do that later. But the bottom line here is that these entities, these individuals who have all been working with this greatest ally that we have here, they have betrayed this country. And I'm not just talking about Congress. I'm talking about your mainstream networks, the media. They've been lying to you for decades. And you regular listeners know that I have been screaming about this since 1995, over 30 years. They've been basically pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. So let me see. There's another thing that I want. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I almost forgot. I pulled up the definition of the word sadist. You know what a sadist is? Okay, I'll read to you the definition. A sadist can refer to, first of all, a person with a high level of everyday sadism or sadism, a personality trait characterized by the enjoyment of hurting others. Okay? A person with sadistic personality disorder, an obsolete clinical term for people who enjoy the suffering of others. Now, apply that to the IDF. Now, I've seen videos, and I'm sure any of you folks have been going through social media or, different platforms, news organizations. I saw a video where there were 4 IDF soldiers holding down a little boy. It couldn't have been more than like 13 or 14, maybe 15 years old. And one of the IDF soldiers picked up a boulder and started breaking his arms and legs. Now, that's the most moral army in the world. If you believe that, then you're stupid, or you're brainwashed, or you're a Zionist. So all you Zionist Christians out there, you need to stop and rethink exactly what's going on. Take a look at your pastors who are pushing Zionism, i.e., the ilk of like John Hagee. And I condemn all of these monsters, because they are working with a group of people who openly admit that their God is Lucifer. Now, again, I keep on saying this, and I'll keep on saying it. It doesn't make any difference what you believe. It doesn't make any difference what I believe. What makes a difference is what they believe. And if they believe in Satan or Lucifer or Beelzebub or Baal or Moloch or whatever name you want to put on it, then there's something wrong with you. Something very dangerously wrong with you. Because what you're doing is you're laying the groundwork for your own children to be massacred in the most inhuman and sadistic way that you can imagine. Is that what you want for your kids or for your grandkids? Because I guarantee you what's going on in Gaza, what's going on in South Lebanon is going to come here. And they're laying the groundwork right in front of everybody's faces. with the data centers, with the drones, with the flock cameras, and now the, what is it, Noxon, whatever it is. I mean, they're putting it all in place right in front of everybody's eyes. And America is sitting on their butts watching TV. This is insanity. We are dealing with an insane populace right now. As a matter of fact, what's her name? Senior moment. She's a former Air Force intelligence officer. And anyway, I'm going to play this because this had to do with the kickoff of this war in Iran. You remember that school over there in Namib? Namib, I think it was. They knew that they were sending Tomahawk missiles to a school. And it was Israel that was twisting the arm of Donald Trump. And for whatever reason, our entire government has been goose-stepping along with Bibi Netanyahu and his regime, swallowing his horse hockey. And after 30 years of Bibi saying, Iran's going to have a nuclear weapon, they're 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon, 30 years of that. Well, they finally had their way, maybe because of the fact that they got their talons into so many members of our government, in Congress, in Senate, in the corporate world, in Hollywood. Epstein? Huh? Honeypot videos? Huh? Oh, it's all conspiracy theory. Anyway, here's a clip about that bombing. Let me see.
Josephine Gilbo, I'm a former intelligence officer. I spent 17 years in the U.S. Army.
Josephine Gilbo, that's her name.
A modern Tomahawk missile is equipped with onboard cameras. Satellite imagery is constantly collected by several intelligence agencies, several countries, in real time. The entire school was surrounded by colorful children painting flower, bright colored murals, and it was, without a doubt, a school if you looked at it through satellite imagery. At 10 a.m., Israel, along with the United States, began attacking Iran. By 10:20, the staff at Manib school began evacuating the children. Strike one. Hit the school. The kids moved to the prayer room. Strike two. Hit the prayer room. 163 kids dead. Multiple sources, including intelligence reports, regional sources, and U.S. officials are required to confirm a target for the U.S. Navy and military operations to ensure accuracy and reduce errors. This is how it works. We just bombed a school knowing it was a school.
Yeah. So that's our most moral army in the world, right? And they are the ones who are pulling the strings. And basically, I don't know what they've got on Donald Trump or the rest of this government or on Pete Hegseth or whoever. But for whatever reason, the United States did this. And we are not the good guys here. And it's all because of this war against Rome. Or shall I say, yeah, oh gosh, I'm having another senior moment here. Yeah. Edom, that's it. That's what I was looking for, Edom. And so people have got to understand that this is not going to go well for the United States. As a matter of fact, there was another report. I think I mentioned it yesterday. There's a report. It's unconfirmed that Russia is providing Iran with 1,000 nuclear-armed missiles. Anyway, here's a clip from the UN commissioner. I'm trying to remember what his name is here. It comes up here. let's see, where is it? Oh, yes, his name is Chris Sidoti, and he is the UN commissioner. He makes a couple of very common sense statements. Here they are.
I have 3 questions today for Israeli people. Through this press conference, I want to speak to them directly. What kind of people are your soldiers who would allow a 14-year-old child to bleed to death over a 45-minute period? What kind of people are your military leaders that would inculcate a culture that soldiers feel free to do this, acting with total impunity? What kind of people are your leaders when they give orders, they make statements that encourage this kind of conduct? Not merely permit it, but encourage it.
Good question. Good question. What kind of people? What do you suppose? Shall I read the definition of sadism again? Or sadists? You know, I mean, if it flaps like a duck, if it swims like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's not a moose. We're dealing with a sadistic, mentally ill country over there. And yes, I'll be the first one to say it's not all the Israelis. No, it's not all of them, but it's a huge percentage of them. And because they are just as brainwashed as you idiot Christian Zionists who are out there, who still support Israel. And now keep in mind, if you keep on consuming intellectual fecal matter, you're going to end up with stuff for brains. I'm sorry, I'm upset because it's just as plain as the nose on your face if you're willing to look at it. This is what we're dealing with. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break.
Get More Tank will save you money every month on gas. Get More Tank is a tablet with active ingredients that adds big mileage to every tank. Made in America, the Get More Tank formula is used by trucking companies and heavy industry. Now the Get More Tank formula is available to you. Get More Tank works in any gas or diesel engine, cleans your engine, lowers emissions, and you'll feel improved engine performance every time you step on the gas. Get More Tank works for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, mowers, and blowers. Hey, if you got an engine, then Get More Tank. Contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, and lawn service companies, Get More Tank will save you money and extend the life of your engines. If you're an owner-operator running your big rig around the town or across the country, Get More Tank will save you money too. If you're a farmer, all of your equipment can use Get More Tank. A 5-pack on sale at GetMoreTank.com for just $22.22 plus shipping. Use the promo code RedPill101 and get 10% off. Save your money, save your engine, save the earth at GetMoreTank.com. Get More Tank is EPA registered, doesn't void warranties, results vary.
And you can get More Tank by visiting our website, TheWTFReports.com. Don't forget TheWTFReports.com. Click on the sponsors button. It'll take you down to an area where you can click on Get More Tank, and you can read all the specifications and details about this fuel catalyst. It really is good stuff, folks. It'll give your car more power. It'll clean your engine. Fewer emissions. I mean, so far, that's all good stuff. But the biggie is that after you've run a few tanks with Get More Tank, you will see an improvement in your mileage, anywhere between 15 and 20%, depending upon your make, model, and year of vehicle, and, of course, your driving habits. It doesn't make sense not to use Get More Tank. You should be using it in your car, your chainsaw, your lawnmower, whatever has gas in it, or even diesel. Get More Tank will improve the performance. There ain't no about it, doubt it, folks. It's proven. It's been in heavy industry for years and years and years. Only in the past couple of years it was made available to the general public, and I'm so glad that they did. So please, check it out. Try it. Just try it. You'll be very pleased. Go to TheWTFReports.com, click on the sponsors page, and Get More Tank. All right, 34 and a half minutes past the hour, whatever hour you're sitting in. And yeah, I realize I'm ranting today. I'm just really upset because all the puzzle pieces are fitting together. And I'm glad that they are. I just hope that more Americans will get off their big fat pimple-covered butts and get involved, because too many people have their heads willfully and belligerently stuck in the sand, and they've got to wake up. People don't realize that their unborn children will curse their apathy and complacency if they don't. So anyway, yeah, if you want to call in, you're welcome to do so. 215-867-8255. That's 215-TOP-TALK, believe it or not. So, never mind. I didn't open up the phone lines. I forgot to open up that program. Like I said, I've been having issues with my computers, and I got to get them straightened out. But anyway, China. Okay, China. Yeah, okay. Russia. China. Everybody's screaming about Russia, China. Well, guess what? Some of these, I think they got their heads screwed on a little bit tighter than the United States does right now. One of the lawmakers gave a mic-dropping speech at the UN Human Rights Council. Again, this is a representative from Hong Kong, and here's what he had to say in regard to human rights. Listen to this.
I really want to ask, what more authority does the United States, a country that's ruled by the Epsteins, have over my country, a country that has lifted over 800 million people out of poverty? What more authority does Britain, a country that arrested over 12,000 of its own people for posting online, have to lecture us about civil liberties? And what more authority do NATO countries that preach human rights in this very chamber while turning a blind eye on the Zionist genocide in Gaza have to tell us what justice looks like? We will not be silenced by nations that treat human rights as bargaining chips, a tool of foreign policy. We will not accept lectures from governments that use human rights as weapons while their own hands are stained with the blood of Palestinians and Iranians they choose to forget. And we will not rest until every nation in this chamber is held to the same standard, until hypocrisy crumbles, genocide is met with action, and peace is no longer a word we speak, but a world we build. Thank you, Mr. President.
Wow. Boy, does that pop a couple bubbles? You got so many people out there. I mean, I never thought I would live to see the day that I'd be supporting, a viewpoint expressed by the Chinese. But I mean, hey, as they say, if the shoe fits, and that's where we're at, folks. We, the United States, as Americans, we are not the good guys anymore. As a matter of fact, we are seen by the rest of the world as the most evil country that ever to exist, because we're supporting, it's Israel, or the state of Israel. They're not even a country, they're a state. And they were established by whom? By what? By the Rothschilds. And what philosophy do the Rothschilds have? They are openly Luciferians. They are Satanists. And yet we continue to support them. So how's this working out for America, huh? How's this working out? We're not getting the truth from the mainstream media about what's going on over there in Iran. We're not getting the truth about American casualties. We're not getting the truth about the bases that are being blown to bits over there. Our radar systems are gone. As a matter of fact, this report here is about the last radar system. And again, we've seen some of the satellite photos, the before and after. And yes, those radomes that we had in all of our allied countries, in Kuwait and Yemen, etc., they're gone. They're gone. They've been destroyed. Well, there was one left, but I guess that one's gone too. Listen to this. Where is it? Okay, here we go.
See this text message, because the families of U.S. soldiers who are stationed in the Middle East right now fighting against Iran are leaking the truth about how bad things are. This woman revealed that she spoke with a U.S. soldier at a base in the Middle East today and said that half of the base is on fire. They're running out of defenses. A water well was hit, so no water is available to put out the fire, and CENTCOM is just covering everything up while they do nothing to solve the problem. She also added that at this U.S. military base, they are currently preparing for an influx of refugee military personnel from several bases in the region. Apparently, everyone is pissed off at CENTCOM because they didn't even approve funding until the last second, and now they're scrambling. And instead of focusing on ending this war and bringing our troops home, Trump is trying to escalate the situation. The U.S. is bombing targets like Iran Shah Airport, the Bandar Kamir Bridge. They're hitting Bandar Abbas every single night, and they even hit a children's cancer hospital in Avaz, Iran. All the while, they lie to you and tell you that they're hitting only military targets. Trump has openly declared that for every Iranian missile that is fired at a ship trying to illegally cross the Strait of Hormuz, he'll blow up an Iranian power plant or bridge. This aggression and escalation does nothing to protect American citizens, to safeguard our national interests, or to actually uplift the lives of American citizens. In fact, it only guarantees that more U.S. service people abroad in the Middle East are going to have their lives put at risk. 18 U.S. service members have already died in this war, and over 600 have been injured from what they admit. Things could get much worse. There are over 50,000 U.S. troops in the region at bases which are getting hit on a nightly basis because of Trump's illegal war. Enough is enough. Bring our troops home. To those of you who have loved ones serving in the U.S. military, encourage them to consciously object and end their contracts.
That's what we're getting, folks. Everything is starting to turn around. And I'm glad to see it's turning around. But my God, how bad do things have to get before more people turn around? You know, I mean, this is where we're at. Anyway, I did open up the phone line, so I got that program opened. Thank God that one worked. I'm telling you, I got serious gremlins and boogaboos in my system here. Anyway, again, the call-in number here is 215-867-8255. That's 215-867-8255. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I saved a bunch of these posts. Okay, yeah, what's going on in Kuwait? Okay, here's another report. This is not going well for the United States. Yeah, you want to keep on supporting our efforts here? Okay, give a listen to this.
Iran struck a secret CIA base in Kuwait. 50 agents allegedly killed. And America may be hiding every detail. The claim comes from Joe Kent, a former Green Beret, CIA paramilitary officer, and former director of the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center, a man who spent 20 years inside the system. According to Kent, Iran did not just hit a military base. It struck a classified CIA facility housing American intelligence personnel, and 50 agents were allegedly killed. But here is what America officially said. Nothing. No press conference, no casualty announcement, no confirmation the facility even existed. When 6 U.S. soldiers were killed at Port Shuaiba in Kuwait on March 1st, America confirmed it within hours. But 50 alleged CIA deaths? Total silence. Kent says the public is not being told the truth about this war. Officially, 17 American service members have been confirmed killed since February 28th. If 50 CIA officers died, that number could suddenly triple. So the question is not just whether Iran hit the base. It is, what is America afraid to reveal about who was...
Oh, okay, that's just the way it ends. Sorry about that. But, yeah, I mean, we're not being told the truth about what's going on. I remember back in the 60s and early 70s during the Vietnam War, every single night I would watch Walter Cronkite, and they would have all of the numbers coming in, casualties, American casualties and North Vietnamese casualties. And then we found out years afterwards that they were fudging the numbers all that time. Well, we have no reason to think that they're not fudging numbers or just ignoring numbers today. We have no real idea about how many of our troops have met their fate. We have no idea. You just heard a report here that they're saying that 50 of our personnel at this intelligence outpost were basically killed. But you're not hearing that in the mainstream media, are you? Are you, huh? Are you? No, you're not. Whew. Anyway, let's see. What else is there? Oh, yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene was on with Shannon Joy, and she's rattling, she's shaking the tree, rattling the cages, whatever, about why we need to start thinking about a serious political revolution in this country, because the Republicans and Demopublicans are basically marching to the Pied Piper that's over there in Israel. Anyway, here's Marjorie Taylor Greene. Bless her heart. She's talking about the taxes.
Why pay taxes? I'm for a full political revolution. I think it's necessary. It's the most American thing that we could do. Have a full political revolution. Why pay taxes? I mean, we're not even mandated to do it anyways.
I love it.
That's a whole nother lie that there is.
I love it. I would love to have you on. I saw that you had an interview with another fellow who I interviewed years ago about a tax revolt, essentially. And
Payman Mataheda.
Yes.
Payman Mataheda. He's the greatest.
He's great.
Freedom Law School. Freedom Law School. Yes.
So good. And
okay,
you know,
I'm going to pause it there for a second. Okay, she's talking about Payman Mataheda from the Freedom Law School. Well, I'm very proud to have a plaque hanging on my wall because he awarded me the Voice of Freedom Award back in 2006. And because I've been screaming about this for so long, and I'm so happy that people are now starting to understand and realize that, you know, folks like us, it's not anti-government, we're not tax protesters or anything like that. We simply want to go by the law and how the law applies to us, or if it doesn't apply to us. And so she's out there screaming about Payman. I called in the Freedom Law School, and Payman is out of town right now. He's enjoying a vacation. Good for him. Hopefully, I'll be able to get him on as a guest because I haven't spoken. Well, I talked to him on the phone, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. But I'd love to have him back on because he's been making the rounds. He's been on on Fox News, on News Nation, Newsmax. He was interviewed by Matt Getz on OAN. I mean, people are starting to finally figure out that you are not liable and you do not have to file an income tax return. There is no law requiring you to do so. And you can also go to YouTube and do a search for the film From Freedom to Fascism by Aaron Russo. From Freedom to Fascism by Aaron Russo. Watch that film. It explains it. And many of the people that he interviewed in that film, I was talking to 25 years ago. Joe Bannister, John Turner, Sherry Peel Jackson, Irwin Schiff before he passed, and of course Aaron Russo before he passed. A lot of these people I was, on mano a mano conversations with. So anyway, I'm going to let Marjorie Taylor Greene continue here.
Years ago is that it was kind of a narrow, only a few people were doing it, and they can attack you if it's just a couple people. But if you had through organization, right? If we spent our time rather than throwing money behind politicians and trying to get good guys elected into a corrupt system, if we took all of that money, all of that organization, all that time and energy and focused it on organizing people to revolt peacefully against the federal government, which is unconstitutional, there's no way they could stop us.
No,
there's no way they couldn't. If 5,000 Americans got together and didn't pay their taxes, what are they going to do? They can't do anything with it.
Well, let me tell you, Payman Mataheda from the Freedom Law School, I'm going to plug him so hard because
let's go.
I think this guy has got it right. He has not been paying federal taxes for over 30 years. And Payman Mataheda has never gone to jail.
Wow.
No.
That's interesting.
Exactly. And there's many people like Payman Mataheda from the Freedom Law School. I'm going to say it over and over again. Freedom Law School. Just look it up. They have a website and you can educate yourself on the entire process. As a matter of fact, I was shocked to learn that the only people in the United States that are mandated to pay federal taxes are the residents of the District of Columbia.
Let's go. Go.
Well, okay, I'm going to stop it. Do you know why? Because if you are listed or registered as a U.S. citizen, that makes you liable. But the point is that a lot of Americans don't realize that they are not U.S. citizens. Defined, a U.S. citizen is someone who lives, as Marjorie Taylor Greene just said, in the District of Columbia or in a U.S. territory like Puerto Rico or U.S. Philippines, okay? That's what a U.S. citizen is. If you don't live in that area, you live in one of the states, one of the sovereign states, you are a state citizen. And that's the way that works. Let's go back here.
I don't live in the District of Columbia, neither do you.
That's
so,
wild.
No, you're exactly right, Shannon. The way to stand up against this is to say, we don't want to participate anymore.
Right.
You guys have screwed us over in so many ways. We're nearly $40 trillion in debt. You and I, we won't see a Social Security check because it's going to be bankrupt in 2032. Right. They're dragging us off in another war after the president promised no more foreign wars. Right. They covered up and protected the Epstein class. There was never any accountability or justice for all the COVID crimes. crimes against humanity, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And they lie every election cycle. It's nothing but lies. So why wouldn't the American people organize in a political revolution and tell both parties to kiss our ass and burn the political industrial complex to the ground and say, we're not paying our taxes?
Right.
They're not your taxes. That's the point. Oh, man, I'm so glad to see Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing this. You know, I mean, you stop and think about it. Think about the trillions, not hundreds of billions, but trillions of dollars that are siphoned out of the United States public, the taxpayers out there. They're sending them over to Israel, and it's not $3.8 billion. Yeah, maybe that's what the federal government sends over there. But every state has been sending money over to Israel as well. As a matter of fact, the latest estimate of the 50 states is another $17 billion that gets sent over to Israel. So Israel is bleeding Americans dry, and they're bombing the snakes out of innocent men, women, and children, and journalists, and we're funding it. No wonder CNN had to admit rather frantically that support for Israel is crumbling. And the more people who actually open their eyes for maybe the first time in their lives are starting to understand how we have been snookered, we've been screwed over, we've been robbed. And the thing is, as we are doing this, the infrastructure is being put in place to do to us, the American people, the same thing as they're doing to the Palestinians in Gaza or in the West Bank or the Lebanese. They're going to do it to us here. And do you know why? Because we are goyim. We are not human in their eyes. Believe it or not, that's the way they feel about it. As a matter of fact, let me see. I had it up here. Let me see. Where is it? Yes. Okay, here it is, a quote. And this comes from Bezalel Smotrich. He's the Israeli finance minister. You want to hear what he said? And here's this quote. International law does not apply to the Jews. That's the difference between the chosen people and the others. Let's stop right there. Again, we just celebrated our 250th birthday here in this country. And the Constitution says, and I quote, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Let's stop right there. Let those words settle in. All men are created equal. All right, well, how does that figure in to a group of people who call themselves God's chosen people? And when you look at their deeds, and again, it's always deeds and not words. If it's their deeds, I have to ask what God they worship. And then I look at the IDF, the most moral military in the world, the most moral army in the world. And I have to ask, and it's a legitimate question, if you're God's chosen people, which God are you serving? And if it's deeds, not words, it sure isn't the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It sure isn't the God that gave Moses the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Remember that? Actually, it's not thou shalt not murder. All right? And thou shalt not bear false witness. Those 2 commandments alone are violated by the motto of the Israeli Mossad and the IDF. You know what that motto is? By means of deception, thou shalt do war. Deception is lying, and war is murdering people. So again, I ask, if they are God's chosen people, which God are they serving? And with us going along with this, with American Zionists going along with this, that makes you accomplices, and your hands are just as bloody as those that are killing all the innocent men, women, and children over there. I'm sorry to be such a monster about this. I'm sorry to be such a bad guy, but I mean, this is the way it is. As a matter of fact, what was his name? Oh God, Steele, Christopher Steele. Yeah, former CIA agent. You remember him? Yeah, he's no longer with us. And let me back this up. Robert David Steele, former CIA agent, and he had this to say. Let me see how I can back this up here.
It's the most important. You have to have protection from local law enforcement. If you are subject to interference from local law enforcement, then it becomes very easy to shut you down. And this is why I know with certainty that across the United States of America and many other countries, local law enforcement has been ordered to not interfere.
He's talking about interfering with the sex trafficking. Yeah, the Epstein Club. That's what he's talking about.
2 is the mechanics. The mechanics requires that you have a source of children. And there are really 3 sources. There are children that are born as a cash crop. We have a Mormon cult that was just reported in the media to be selling white babies without birth certificates in Turkey for $50,000 each. Then you have runaway children or children that can be kidnapped to order. There are actually books of photographs of children that are shopped to pedophiles in Los Angeles and elsewhere. They literally pick a child and then someone goes out, generally a team of 4, and they kidnap them. Third and last are child refugees. And one of the things that I've just learned recently is that elements of the Department of Homeland Security who are controlling the border of the United States of America are making money on the side by taking children that they arrest but then don't put into the system. They sell them directly to pedophilia networks. This is an absolute outrage that the President of the United States should be all over.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And for those of you out there who are basically saying, oh, Dave, you must be some sort of an anti-Semite. That's what you are. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I had my dictionary on the computer pulled up because I was looking at the definition of sadist. Of course, I already shared that with you. So if sadism is, again, if the shoe fits, you're going to have to wear it. But I'm going to look up the word Semite, S-E-M-I-T-E, Semite. What is a Semite? The term Semite or Semitic religions most commonly refers to religions that were founded in Western Asia, such as pre-Abrahamic polytheisms and the Abrahamic religions like Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and Madanahism. If I couldn't say that right. Okay, it also refers to the language, if you speak a specific language of the Middle East. So it has nothing to do with going against the Jews, the blue hats. So the point is that when somebody calls you an anti-Semite, what, you're against a language? It's wordplay, folks. It is wordplay. Anyway, I'm going to go out using with this song that I wrote all these years ago. As a matter of fact, I found a video. I didn't even realize it was posted on YouTube of the Freedom Law School conference in 2007, of which I was MC and a keynote speaker. And I opened it up by performing this song. And I'll go out with this. Here it is.
Opinions expressed by our numbers that grow may tell you some things that you don't want to know. You can say that we're crazy, you can call us a name, but unless you do something, the result is the same. For unknown generations, we've been living a lie. While some struggled for truth, many others stood by. Is the spirit within you? Do you think that you'll try to look for the answers and ask your lawmakers why? So come on, America, join in the fight and resist their corruption with all of your might. You can hide in the darkness or stand in the light. No, your God won't be with you till you do what is right. We continue to trust such a small group of men who have robbed us before, and they'll do it again. Yes, they worship the dollar, the silver, the gold, and they haven't a soul. It's already been sold. And they say that we're liable, and they say that we owe, and if we don't pay their tax,
off to jail we will go. But we checked out the law, and we studied their code, and when it's all understood, not a penny is owed. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for us today. If you're listening on BitChute or Rumble or YouTube or Facebook, please click like, share, subscribe, and you know what to do. And support us by doing business with our advertisers. Use our website, TheWTFReports.com. Get more tank, pick up a Wave Watch, or you can make a donation through our GoFundMe. Anyway, that said, that's going to wrap it up for our Taco Tuesday version of the WTF Reports. I sincerely appreciate your listenership. So with that, I'll say thank you. God bless you all. Stay safe. Stay free. And God willing, I'll see you. 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 And God willing, I'll see you.